When am I going to publish? Never, never. There is over 37 biographies of me now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they all know so much more and have made me sound a lot more interesting than if I wrote mine.
Mummy says if I am good, she'll let me go to school in August. Daddy shouted loud and Mummy, and I drop my toast at breakfast, and I laugh and wonder, lift my face because it's...
Calle en Stansfield, en el barrio de Brixton, Londres. Apenas quedan recuerdos de una familia llamada Jones que vivió en este barrio obrero hace 40 años. En 1966, un inmigrante jamaicano todavía no podía imaginar que también participaría del mito David Bowie. Hoy, el número 40 ya no está en la puerta para que fans y periodistas tengan que llamar y pagar para verlo.
I will jump in puddles, laugh in church and marry my mum.
We went to school together, and my father, in fact, David was in what was known as the art form, and my father was the head of the art department.
Well, you know, Peter used to go to school with me, and his father was my art master, so it doesn't say much for his father.
I got to know him there in that 1 year that I was at the school, and we used to play, bring guitars to school, and he introduced me to the music of Buddy Holly, and I was listening to the Cliff Richard and the Shadows at the time. And, you know, all the rock and rollers that I wasn't aware of at that time. So we would jam on various different tunes in the art block stairs during lunchtime.
Literatura de la generación Beat, música de Little Richard y John Coltrane, clases de saxo con Rooney Roth. Su primera vocación, la pintura, es reemplazada por el jazz. Es aquí donde se pelea por una chica con George Underwood. Con una pupila paralizada será David Jones, con un ojo gris y otro azul, convertido en héroe por su maestría con el saxofón.
There was an end of term concert which my father actually produced, and David was in a group called George and the Dragons, and which was sort of the top of the bill.
Los periodos de formación de David Bowie hay que buscarlos en los Conrads, en su abandono del jazz y sus incursiones en el rhythm and blues a través de David Jones and the King Bigs. Lisa Jane fue su primer disco y su primer fracaso. Del rhythm and blues de los Manish Boys al estilo mod de David Jones and the Lower Third, imitando el sonido de la Tanla Motown y los Who.
I don't really know. It was just it was anything to get away from Jones because of David Jones. Yeah. Was that, I'll tell you something even funnier than that, that a few months before that I'd been Tom Jones until Tom Jones came. So that was even more embarrassing.
Es la época de las actuaciones en el histórico Marquee londinense. Es el periodo que describe la canción autobiográfica Los chicos de Londres, Carnaby Street, Vida nocturna, primeras drogas y los chicos que han dejado a su familia. En 1966 cambia su nombre por el de la navaja americana Bowie. Mejora poco a poco su capacidad para escribir canciones, pero su estilo no está definido. Sigue imitando. Ahora imita al cantante inglés Anthony Newley.
You lie beneath my shade, I'll keep you nice and cool. Beautiful baby, I was very lonely till I met you on Sunday. My passion's never ending and I'll love you till Tuesday.
When I met him, he was but as a teacher, what I endeavor to do is to make people to be like more of themselves. I love the way he sounded. I love the song. A long time before I met him, I heard him on the radio singing, when I live my dream, I'll take you with me. I thought, oh, I fell in love with that voice. I thought, what an angel must be singing this song. David Bowie, the day that I met him, had packed his suitcase and was about to leave for Tibet. He was going to be a monk. You know, he was going to be a Buddhist monk. I saved him from that.
I put it on for the lads at the office. Oh, fabulous. Oh, you have turned out to be a card. And in the evening, I took it to the pub. Oh, bravo, bravo. What a wag.
I was nervous. I expected to see an angel, and I didn't want to be disappointed because he sounded like an angel. Opening the door, oops, there was an angel. I mean, he looked as beautiful as he sounded. Yeah, we fell in love immediately, and began to work immediately. I mean, on new shows, songs, music. The moment he came in, we sat down with typewriters and pens and ink, and it was our way of making love, you know, to make music. And I put him very quickly into a little show that we wrote together, which was called Piero in Turquoise.
Then it was the local concert.
I don't like mime. Mime is awful. Give me mime, this kind of...
Yeah. Yeah, so what he was doing, man?
No, that was a horrible period. He flirted with Maso. No, I disapproved a lot. I don't like mime. What's mime? No, I had nothing to do with his miming. I taught him to dance. I'm a dancer, you know. I'm not a mime. I don't like this kind of silent substitute.
Autographs, films, television, the lot. Had a very strange effect on me, though.
I think Lindsay probably taught me my initial stagecraft. I think from him, I realized that you don't have to have props and things to create an atmosphere on stage, that body language itself can create an atmosphere. I think that's the major thing that I learned from working with Lindsay. I learned also quite a lot about lighting from there. Basic stagecraft, I think, I learned with Lindsay more than anything else.
The papers made a big thing out of it.
Strangled on stage, they said.
Funny, though, they didn't mention anything about a mask.
La salida del disco Rareza Espacial, inspirado en la película 2001 de Kubrick, coincidió con el aterrizaje en la Luna, y la BBC incluso utilizó la canción para cubrir la retransmisión en directo. Este fue el primer gran éxito de Bowie. Rareza Espacial era el comienzo de lo que hasta ahora Bowie estaba buscando, pero al igual que su mayor Tom, Bowie estaba confundido y todavía no sabía qué hacer con ello.
And I think my spaceship knows which way to go. Tell my wife I love her very much, she knows.
He went in 1973. I mean, that's 14 years ago. I forgot about it a long time ago.
Bowie decide contraer matrimonio con una modelo norteamericana que tenía problemas de visado, Angela Barnett. Angie, a quien los Rolling Stones dedicaron una canción, se convertiría en su manager y su ayudante hasta finales de los 70. Es la etapa de la transición hacia la ambigüedad sexual y el inicio de una serie de declaraciones en la prensa sobre su bisexualidad.
I sprayed his hair red. I was spraying some furniture with a red paint. I said, yeah, come on. You've got to be more. You've got to be more on the outside as you are on the inside. It's no use having passion inside. Your passion is going to be on the outside.
¿Marketing o realidad? La verdad no importaba. Era solo la imagen y el efecto de esa imagen lo que aportaba una nueva dimensión visual en el mundo del rock.
Had become a rock and roll star. In fact, he hadn't become a rock and roll star, but he had a management behind him. Tony DeFries, you know, and they were really kind of, they had this guy ready for that kind of a smash opening. And they asked me to direct the show with as much money as I needed. And I wrote, and I directed, and I designed Ziggy Stardust. I did his costumes and his makeup. So I suppose David Bowie credits me for putting what did they call it? Gay rock, glam rock, yeah, on the map.
Ziggy era la estrella de rock por excelencia que iniciaba el mito de un Bowie identificado con un personaje que transmitía sus preocupaciones intelectuales. La imagen de Ziggy superaba a David Bowie. Perdido en su propia puesta en escena, Bowie decidió dar muerte al personaje que le había catapultado al éxito y diseñó una nueva máscara, un nuevo carácter. Inspirado en los Estados Unidos, nace Aladino el Sensato, un personaje más agresivo que refleja una ambigüedad agonizante sobre las relaciones afectivas, las visiones apocalípticas, el juego entre la imaginación y la realidad, y el papel y estrategia de la estrella de rock.
That is coming from the Aladdin Sane album. Aladdin Sane is schizophrenic. There's lots of them. Why there were so many costume changes? They said so many personalities that each, as far as I was concerned, each costume change was a different facet of personality.
This is likewise another Japanese costume. These are all Japanese. Most of this stuff is Japanese. Most of my clothes are Japanese. I've always been very fond of kabuki-style clothes. That's another Aladdin Sane thing. Aladdin Sane, I saw him as, I found like imaginative. And the imagination can dry up in wherever
you're living in England often, I mean, if there's nothing to keep it going, it just supplied a need in me. America became a myth land for me. It's wonderful to be able to recreate another atmosphere and create another world. For me, it was a fascination. It was in a way a replacement for being a painter, because my songs I always thought of as canvases. I felt like I wrote songs in layers, and I felt that the theatre performance or the stage performance of those songs should also have layers as well. So.
Descubre el mundo de los alucinógenos y se somete a una vida sin horizontes. Sus reflexiones sobre el ser humano y su decadencia, inspiradas por el escritor de ciencia ficción Burroughs, son puestas una vez más en escena.
Tissues for my eyes, please. No, can I have tissues for my eyes?
Estados Unidos marca un nuevo periodo de transición que proporciona a este actor de rock una nueva máscara que incorpora la música negra americana. Así, a la visión catastrofista de Diamond Dogs se le une la música soul que inspirará Young Americans.
Una de las primeras palabras que le dije, pero tú te ves terrible, qué flaco y con ese pelo y realmente haciéndolo muy ridículo. Y esa manera de ser que yo tengo abrió algo en él que yo realmente él podía hablar conmigo, yo con él. Y desde ese tiempo la influencia que yo le he dado ha sido algo que él realmente ha necesitado. En el principio yo le di la banda para el Young Americans cuando él quería hacer de la música americana.
In around 1976, and I moved out of America and out of the rock and roll circus in America, and I came back to Europe and I lived for some time in Berlin.
Desde el número 155 de la Hauptstrasse, acompañado de su amigo Iggy Pop, Bowie percibe una nueva realidad social y cultural. Descubre Berlín, su vida nocturna, el expresionismo alemán, y trabaja con Brian Eno creando el periodo más puro y vanguardista de su carrera. El sonido de Berlín refleja sus emociones.
I haven't played any characters other than cinema characters since '76. That was the last time I played a character, and that was the Thin White Duke thing. It was what was called in Europe the black and white show, where it was very Brechtian kind of white light and very stark.
Bowie crea a sus propios héroes. Héroes es su mejor canción de amor, inspirada en este cuadro expresionista de Otto Miller. Es la historia de dos amantes al lado del muro, reflejando la preocupación existencial por la fugacidad del tiempo.
I guess, probably started with Magical Mystery Tour, which was really the first use of putting surrealistic imagery against song for rock music. But then I guess I was one of the first in the 70s to start utilizing videos. Not terribly good technically. So I like to work in collaboration with a good DP, director of photography, who can, for instance, with David Mallet on the Ashes to Ashes video, I don't know if you know, yeah, I storyboarded it, because being a painter, I can't stop saying what I want to see, you know. So I generally storyboard the videos, and then David tells me how to turn the sky black. Alien, which is it's quite a strange. Or the Blue Jean one, I think is fun, because it's comedy.
My mother was so beautiful. She was knocked down by an elephant in the circus.
En 1980, Bowie se revela como un gran actor de arte dramático interpretando El hombre elefante en Broadway, sin la ayuda de ningún tipo de maquillaje.
The only things I got offered after that were things like Pirates of Penzance and, you know, revivals of old pieces and I didn't want to do that. But if I were offered something that was new and muscular and an exciting piece of theatre, I would adore to do it again. But I don't want to do just to Sound of Music or something like that.
Aunque ahora prefiere el cine al teatro, su carrera en el cine ha sido muy irregular. Del extraterrestre del hombre que cayó sobre la Tierra al vampiro de El Ansia, pasando por el oficial neozelandés prisionero en un campo de concentración japonés en Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. O incluso ha representado un pequeño papel de ladrón en Cuando llega la noche, de John Landis. Ha participado en proyectos fallidos, como Gigoló. Representado a personajes marginales o psicológicamente traumatizados, dirigidos por directores de vanguardia como Nicholas Roeg o Nagisa Oshima. Todos sus proyectos han sido siempre un fracaso comercial. Bowie todavía no puede ser considerado como un gran actor de cine. A pesar del escaso éxito de sus últimas películas, como Principiantes o en El laberinto, hay que destacar que Bowie es el único actor de la música pop que ha podido superar la transición de la música rock a las pantallas de cine.
Pero nos entendemos bien, ¿verdad?
Pues no sé.
Muy bien. Impresionante. Nos veremos en otra ocasión.
But I've started to buy books that I like and start to produce movie things for myself, because I think that's the best thing to do. And I have two that I like very much that I have a screenwriter working on now. And one is for me to act in and one is for me to direct. I think I'll probably have to find the money outside of Hollywood because they're not very Hollywood movies.
Tengo 5 años que no tuvimos conciertos y seguramente ese es un tiempo que cualquier cosa puede pasar. Y lo que sucedió fue que en esos 5 años él realmente no estaba grabando mucho y no estaba haciendo conciertos mucho. Y lo que sucedió es cuando él salió con el Let's Dance album, inmediatamente todo salió bien con el disco. It went commercial, como dicen. Y mucha de la gente que nunca habían que no supieron de David, en ese tiempo empezaron a comprar los discos.
1983 es el año de la consagración definitiva de David Bowie en todo el mundo. Una nueva generación de fans, ruedas de prensa, un contrato de 17 millones de dólares con una nueva casa discográfica y un nuevo estilo de música son el resultado de y una cuidada planificación para un nuevo cambio de estilo y de imagen que, iniciado en 1980, consigue su culminación en el disco Let's Dance, el disco más rápidamente vendido desde la aparición de Sgt. Pepper de los Beatles. Ahora, unido a la música del rey del funky, Nile Rodgers, un rubio y bronceado David Bowie es convertido en una elegante estrella de rock que canta en escena con reloj de pulsera y escribe solo canciones de amor. Bowie disfruta ya del poder de las grandes estrellas. Desde Nueva York y a través de su propia empresa Isolar, domina todos los proyectos que hacen referencia a la imagen de David Bowie.
Is this the real me?
Yeah?
Yeah, it's the real me. It's you know, it's me as a person, as near as I can become with this, you know. Solitary inasmuch maybe that I don't particularly mix these days in a rock and roll world.
Cuando no actúa, Bowie, divorciado desde 1980 de Angela, vive en Suiza, cerca de Vevey, con su hijo Joey, de 16 años, y su ayudante personal Corinne Schwab. Desde hace más de 15 años, Corinne, Coco para los amigos, es la encargada de mantener una rígida división entre David Jones, David Bowie y el resto del mundo. Coco lleva tantos años de dedicación exclusiva a la construcción de todas las respuestas sobre su vida privada. El último disco, No me desilusiones, está dedicado a Coco, en agradecimiento por su colaboración afectiva y laboral a lo largo de estos años.
The new album, I quite like the enthusiasm of the sound, the energy. There's an energy in there that I haven't had in my album since the middle 70s, I think. It's because it's a return to guitar orientation.
Los detractores le critican su comercialidad. Después de Let's Dance, sus discos han sido un fracaso y el último es considerado demasiado normal. Es indudable que Bowie tiene una necesidad vital de cambiar, pero parece que ya no está en condiciones de crear nuevas tendencias. Los puristas echan de menos el riesgo de otras épocas. Pero hay que reconocer que Bowie tiene una imaginación sin límites y en su última gira, La araña de cristal envuelve al artista que lucha contra su pasado. Lo más sorprendente de Bowie es que a través de la música cuenta la historia de su vida y representa su vida en apariciones públicas. Es el teatro de la música que va cambiando y a través de los cambios Bowie es sincero consigo mismo.
The tiny, shining objects, glass, beads, dewdrops. One could almost call it an altar. When the wind blew through this construction, it produced the sounds of wailing, crying, tiny wails, tiny cries. The baby spiders would get scared and search frantically for their mother. But the glass spider knew that they would survive somehow on their own and would have long gone. Oh, she had blue eyes, almost like a human's. They shed tears at the winter turn of the century.
Hay algo en la voz de David que me gusta cuando habla, simplemente hablando, y siempre me ha gustado. Y cuando él dice poema antes de la canción empezar, me gusta eso, y después la canción empieza y tiene mucha fuerza. Y es buen rock and roll.
I like his acting in movies. I like his constant innovation, invention, risk. He takes great risks. I admire him. He is an acrobat of the senses.
Teatro, mimo, cine, vídeos, música, discos, pintura, esquiar, leer a Martin Amis y Julian Barnes. Bowie es capaz de fundirlo todo en busca de nuevas direcciones. ¿Cuál es la próxima sorpresa?
I would like to write fiction. I'd like to write accounts of possibly putting together the travels that I've had in combination with a fictional subject matter.
So you can start.
Okay, I'll start with my travels through Madrid.